After arriving in the middle of the night, after 36 hours of transit, I met our group for the first time, who had their orientation meeting the night before. On our first day, we headed out to the Cairo Egyptian Museum before heading to the pyramids.
Yeah. So they just told us we have to pay 50 more Egyptian pounds to use our camera inside the museum. But then they told us you can't take photos of like King Tut or the mummies. So they're charging you money and you can't even use your camera the whole time.
That's all good.
Yeah. So this is my roommate Richard. Richard, say hi.
G'day.
And this is Jane and Ross. They're from Vancouver. Say hi, guys. Couple of very few young people on the trip.
Thought we'd be the only ones.
Yeah, whatever.
With an itch bag search, I'll cop a pat down on the way.
The museum was exciting to visit because where all the impressive displays came from, we were going to go see in the next 2 weeks. This was our first taste of the overwhelming history of Egypt.
So right here's the first time Israel's being mentioned as a place in history on this tablet.
More than 2 million tourists visit the museum each year to see the 120,000-piece collection, which some of them are over 5,000 years old. One of the most interesting things we learned was how the rich were buried in sarcophaguses, the middle class were buried in the mountains, and the poor were buried in the desert. Tutankhamun's room had a no-camera policy, but luckily it had glass doors. But the mummy room was unfortunately surrounded by marble.
So we just finished our tour of the museum, and it was amazing, but I had to pay actually 300 Egyptian pounds instead of 50 because I have a video camera. So I had to leave and go buy another ticket, which was a huge pain in the ass. But it was amazing. You can only film like some of the normal plane stuff, anything like epic, like seeing the mummies. Like you get to see like all the Ramseses, and you got to see like Ramses II, who was like the greatest Egyptian ruler, entered them in a golden age. His mummy, it was so well preserved, you could see his face. One of the coolest experiences in there was looking into the eyes of the mask that King Tut was buried under. And it was just so epic, like the intricate design of it, like all the gems and the carvings, and it's solid gold. It's just that is Egypt. It was just so epic. But yeah, it really seems like they just nickel and dime you here everywhere. Like everything costed additional money for this, additional money for that. And you can't film anything that you pay to go see additionally. So it's kind of annoying. I hope the rest of Egypt isn't like that. Another issue we're having is like, there's like no alcohol here. Like you can't have a beer anywhere. So we're not used to this for being tourists. But right away we're gonna go head out to the pyramids. So hopefully there's less rules there and a lot more fun. But all in all, it was still an amazing experience. Might not make a great video, but it's definitely worth coming to. So we're just talking about how tourism has changed here in Egypt and how they went from about 14 million people a year to around 6 million, and now that number's climbing again, but they're not ready for it to climb because they sold all their buses and their boats, and hotels turned to hospitals, so now they're starting over. Because in 2011 they had a huge revolution and it scared all the tourists away. 2015 there was a plane that got shot down, I think, and then in 2016 a terrorist attack in Alexandria scared everybody away. But now it's slowly creeping up and getting better. If you ask me, you want tourism to return, you need to have beer everywhere and let people take videos and photos of whatever they want, because that's fun and that's what people want to do, and they want to show their experience. So roommate Richard, what'd you think?
Very interesting.
What was the highlight for you?
The mummy room.
Mummies were cool. It's surprising how well preserved they were.
Yes, it was very, very.
Yeah, seeing Ramses II or staring into the eyes of King Tut, that was epic.
It's full on.
But we're gonna go see the pyramids right now. I think that'll be better.
After arriving at Giza Plateau and being stunned by the massive size of the pyramids, we decided to go around back to get a scenic view and go ride camels. The pyramids were built for what is believed to be a burial place for 3 pharaohs who were father, son, and grandson, despite never finding a mummy inside. The Great Pyramid was 481 feet tall and 756 feet wide, and they were built around 2600 BC.
Like, look at that guy.
This one go down into it.
Look how big it is. And it just goes. And goes. And goes. There's some camels. Apparently the guys let you up on the camel and charge you money to get off. And getting off the camel is a lot more expensive.
Any ancient pyramid
These stones are
has to be granite, guys.
2 to 5
Harder
tons
than
each.
limestone. And the only good granite we have in Egypt, by the way, guys, Sinai is full of granites.
Here's some of the smaller ones. We're gonna do a walk around just to see how big the big pyramid is.
Putting this into perspective, this is from up there somewhere.
Look at that, he's a big guy. That's crazy, that's just one. That's him, that's one, and there's 2.3 million. So these 3 are who?
The wife's the daughter and the
Of Khufu's?
mothers. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Yeah, every once in a while you find a nice, like, smooth piece that's not damaged. See, this one still has some limestone on it. That's awesome.
We get rid of all the tourists and
Look at how tall these big boys are. It's like this all the way up. This is unbelievable. Great. So we rode camels to the pyramids, and now we just went inside that one. That's the 3rd one. It's the grandson of the 3. It's pretty cool. There's not a lot going on down there, but it's definitely worth it to go down to at least one of them. And for some reason, once again, they did not let us film anything down there. That's what Egypt likes to do for some reason. But there's a couple hieroglyphs, but just a bunch of big rooms. It's just cool to see.
The Sphinx is a limestone statue of a lion's body with a human head wearing a royal headdress, who is believed to be Khafre, who the middle pyramid was built for.
So he does have back legs. Some right there. It's pretty cool. Looks to me like that head just wants to fall off. I don't know.
It would appear a tail.
Yeah, that might be the tail. There's definitely back feet. Yeah, you never get to see the other end of the Sphinx. You always see just the face and that's it. The head is smaller than the body for sure.
Yeah, that's the tail.
If you want a good view of the Sphinx and the pyramids, there is a Kentucky Fried Camel right there and a Pizza Hut. Just finishing up our day here. We're gonna go for supper now. Pyramids were amazing. Sphinx was amazing. It was well worth it. Goodbye, pyramids and Sphinx.
After the pyramids, we went to have a feast at a local restaurant before catching an overnight train to Aswan.